Hey, fellas, your commissioner here, coming at you for the final week of the regular season, week 13. Uh, we're finally here. It's been a long process. Honestly, it's gone by in the blink of an eye. I feel like just yesterday I was sitting down and recapping the draft and, giving Nick a hard time and telling my team that, hey, we got something special here this year. um, how things have changed in the last 13 weeks. So, um, obviously, start off, Hogs lost last weekend to OLSU. Gave them a little bit of a fight for about a quarter, and then, LSU dominated as they should have. So, um, it is what it is. But, kind of a microcosm of our season. I've noticed my season seems to go as the Razorbacks go, so whenever they're down and bad, I'm down and bad. So, but let's go ahead and get into a recap of last week's game. Obviously, doing this a little early on a Tuesday, little special gobble gobble. State of the Union, Thanksgiving for you. Typically I'll do this on Thanksgiving while football's going on or just about to start. Well, this year, I've got a girlfriend now, so I won't be here for you guys. Leaving right after work tomorrow, so can't do it then. I don't really want to shoot the video while I'm traveling or in a different venue. So you're getting it today. Um, Anyways, a recap of last week's games. We'll start off with our Puffs game of the week. Um, Looked like it was going to live up to the hype. Looked like it was going to be about a 140 shootout. Cooled off a little bit. Still a pretty good game of the week. One of the better ones we've had in recent weeks. Myself versus Discount Double Check. Managed to come out on top 129 to 122. Desperately needed to win. I've been needing to win out basically for the last 4 weeks. So, back on 2-game winning streak here. Started off pretty rough with TY on Thursday night, not really doing much, having a couple drops, but really carried by Chris Godwin and Drew Brees. Outside of that, pretty meh games from everybody else. Rip's trio of receivers did very well for him. His freaking defensive player gets 20 points. I'm about sick of that shit. But fortunately, his running backs and his quarterback didn't do much. So I moved to 5-7. Rip falls to 8-4. Still with the first round bye in second place, and I will be breaking down all of the scenarios here shortly. Come back to that one. Craig gets back on track. Solid week out of Craig, 126. Bad week for Savoy, 110. Really outside of Derrick Henry. He doesn't have much production on his team. So that was good for Craig to keep his playoff hopes very firmly alive. I mean, this win almost guaranteed him a spot. There is still some avenues where he can miss it. Savoy's sitting at 3-9. He's been done. He's been done for several weeks. So I don't know if either one of these guys even watch the State of the Union anymore, but good job on the win. Craig moved to 7-5, and Savoy drops down to 3-9. Blank has been one of the hotter teams in the league over the last few weeks. Was able to thoroughly dominate our previous season's runner-up, our co-assistant to the commissioner. 182 to 109. Now, hats off to Blaine. Obviously, making the Mark Ingram trade. He's had 20 plus points the last 2 weeks. Someone who's been under 10 points the last 2 weeks. But he had Leonard Fournette trade. It paid off for him. Jameis Winston's balling. He's throwing a lot of picks, but he's throwing a lot of tutties as well. Kittle's back from injury, ready to roll. Absolute dominant performance from Blaine. Honestly, he needs to be in the playoffs. The team is very good, very, very good, very good to be in, good enough to be in there. And Nick continues to disappoint. Follows up a 60 negative 60-point performance last week with 109 this week. Outside of Baker, who he picked up streaming quarterbacks, he finally hit on one somehow. I guess he's got to hit one of these eventually. And Allen Robinson, absolutely nothing. The Saquon trade has done nothing for him thus far. The Lockett trade really hasn't done well, and Julio has not really been dominant the last several weeks, past month or so. I mean, he's just been getting like 10 points, 15 points. So not what you expect out of a number one receiver. And I mean, his whole team, his best team was healthy and playing. So, I mean, his running back situations were one of the worst in the league. He'll trot Rashad Penny out there this week, and he won't do jack shit. But anyway, Nick's still 8-4. And Blaine is 6-6 and sitting currently in the last playoff spot, the 6th seed. So then we got Hurricane Season and JD mixing drinks. Hawk wins this one, 113-104. Pretty ugly game. JD almost suffered even more of a heartbreaker. Marquise Brown dropped a touchdown on Monday night. He had two other ones. But still would have caused JD to lose by about 2 points or 0.2 points, something like that. Hawk continues to not have a tight end. Hopefully Ingram can come back soon. Just solid game out of Lev. I mean, what he's been doing all season, 15 points, no more, no less. Hopkins had one of his best games of the season. Mediocre game from Watson. So, I don't know. Hawks 6-6, right where he belongs. So, and JD unfortunately drops to 5-7, not eliminated from the playoffs yet, but that was a huge loss for him to try to get into the playoffs. And then we got Dirty Birds continues to fly along, 155-92. Basically got 50 points out of Lamar Jackson. I mean, that really continues to be his team. Zach Ertz has woken up of late, and Calvin Ridley had a good game as well. Kamara started to turn it on. Did this with Tyreek on bye. Punk's got a scary team now. He's got a scary team. I would not want to see this team come playoff time, I'll tell you that. And, Wilson's decimated team manages to not break 100 points. Outside of Jonathan Williams and Devontae Adams, just no production from any of his players. So he falls to 4-8. Plunk moves up to 7-5, and that brings us to our I don't even know. I've run out of negative adjectives to say about this team. Are just, who cares? I mean, it's apathy at this point. It's just, I have no emotions or feelings towards this team at all. I mean, I looked at his schedule today and about wanted to throw up at looking at the point totals and looking at what he's done and looking at, well, number one, me losing it, this team, and, that potentially being the difference between me making the playoffs and not making the playoffs. That Knicks game, which I'll get into, but the Fat Bastards put up 85 points yet again. Outside of Cole Beasley and Demario Davis, no production whatsoever. David Johnson's done. Hooper's still out for another couple weeks. I guess he's got Stephon Diggs. I don't know what to say. I mean, it stuns me. I mean, this guy used to be a championship contender, this owner. Ford used to be a championship contender. And something happened the last 2 or 3 years. I don't know what it is, but if he doesn't win the horse ass this year, I'll be stunned. I mean, from the managerial decisions to the roster makeup to the drafting to motivating your players, it's just terrible, Josh. It's just terrible. And if you keep this up, I'm gonna have to relegate you down to Nick's little league, and have you sit out a couple years and try to get your mind right. I mean, you got to get this fixed, buddy. I don't like seeing you down here. I don't like seeing you down here every year. Now I know you make good drinks, but I don't want to see you having to do that again. Because obviously you need the help. You need to spend as much time focusing on the draft as you can. Anyway, not to be overshadowed, Duncan had a very good game. Continues to dominate over these last couple weeks. Jarvis has really come on. Jared Cook's starting to come on. DJ Moore balled out. Christian McCaffrey continues to be a stud. Yeah, I mean, good for Duncan. He's locked into the 1 seed at 10-2. Went from being one of the worst teams last year to the best team this year. So good for him. All right, so potential playoff scenarios. So we'll start off Ford, Wilson, Savoy. All 3 of those teams out. 0 shot at making the playoffs. 0% shot. They are essentially playing for the horse ass. Duncan, locked into the 1 seed. Can't lose it. Doesn't matter what he does this week. Basically just playing for pride. He's essentially got a 2-week bye. So, Discount Double Check and Nick are battling for the bye. However, the second bye, it could also still be won by Plunk or Craig, technically. Plunk is currently let's say about 30 points behind Rip. So in order for Plunk to get a first-round bye, he would have to win. Nick and Rip would have to lose, and he would have to outscore Rip by 30. But there's still an avenue for him to get a first-round bye. What's much more likely, if Nick and Rip both win, then Rip gets it. If they both lose, Rip could still get it as long as he outscores Plunk. If Rip loses and Nick wins, then Nick gets it. So please don't let that happen, guys. I want to see Nick's ass out in the first round. Do not let him get a bye and just prolong the inevitable, okay? Let's not tempt fate here, guys. Let's just get it done. I want to see a 4-game losing streak to end next season. See, he's putting a curse on me. He doesn't want me talking bad about his team. I told you he's got that black magic. Oh. Now the sponsor of the week. Previous sponsor of the week, Gatorade Zero, for your thirst quenching needs. Yeah, so let's get his ass out. Now, here's the twist. And Craig, technically, I mean, he can't get it. He can't get it. It doesn't matter. He would have to make up 200 points on Rip, which just is not possible. So, but here's the twist. Plunk could technically get the 2 seed, but he could also miss the playoffs entirely. That's the twist. You see it? There's a twist there. It's like M. Night Shyamalan in this bitch. Okay? If Plunk loses, okay, Hawk and Blaine both win. Okay? And Hawk, it's unlikely now. It's unlikely, but it's possible. And Hawk outscores Plunk by about 80. Okay, so I mean, it would take a phenomenal week from Hawk and a less than stellar week from Plunk, but those point spreads can happen. I mean, you can shift 80 points on a team in a week. So if he makes up about 80 points, then Hawk would obviously have to win. Blaine wins. Plunk loses. Then both of those teams are in the playoffs, and Plunk is on the outside looking in. Same goes with Craig. Now Craig is a lot dicier. If Craig loses and Hawk and Blaine both win, Craig's out. Craig is down 100 points to Hawk in the point four, which is a tiebreaker. So, he would be in trouble. Hawk and Blaine are the only two teams that can knock either Craig or Plunk out of the playoffs. So, oh shit, did I not send a time? Oops. Hold on, let me send a work email right quick. Hey, come on, stop that. Oops. Sorry. Oops. Sorry. 130. Okay. So very unlikely, but the avenue exists. But like I said, if Hawk and Blaine both win, and Craig loses, his ass is out. So still not out of the woods yet, Craig. Hawk, to make the playoffs, either needs to win and have Blaine lose, or he needs to win, and if Blaine wins, he needs to outscore Blaine by about 50 points. So, not likely, but possible. That's basically what you need. Blaine wins, he's in. As long as he puts up a decent point total on Hawk, doesn't outscore him by 50. But you got to feel good about controlling his destiny. So Hawk needs to win and just dominate to be able to get in. So both these teams still control their destiny technically. Now let's say Blaine loses and Hawk wins. Hawk's in. Hawk loses, Blaine wins, he's in. So we do have two other teams who could technically still make the playoffs. That would be myself and mixing drinks with my homies. We're both sitting at 5 and 7. So to get in, basically for me to get in, Blaine and Hawk would both have to lose. And I would have to outscore Blaine by about 50 points. So possible, very unlikely. Hopefully, I'm just looking to win, and if the fantasy gods favor me, then so be it. But certainly not looking likely. Now, JD needs even more help because he needs to win. Blaine and Hawk need to lose, and JD needs to outscore Blaine by about 100 points. So I feel like my dryer just started back up after it stopped. That was weird. Ooh, spooky. Halloween's over, I thought, but anyway, so needless to say, JD's probably done. I'm probably done as well. If I was able to beat Nick, by 2 points, 2 points difference in that game, I'd be sitting right there at 6 and 6 with Blaine and Hawk. I'd feel a little bit better because then Blaine just would have to lose and I would have to win and I'd get in. But then you also look at, I should have beaten Ford whenever I scored 170 and no one else got even above 150 other than Ford. So I could be at 7 and 5. So, um, but hey, that's the way fantasy cookie crumbles. So it is what it is. I'm fairly confident at this point. I'm not going to win the horse ass, especially considering the bottom three teams. They'll just have to be good enough. So anyway, let's go ahead and I will get into a preview of week 13's games here momentarily. I have to go drop Brody off at his dog sitter. So I'm gonna put the video on pause and I will resume momentarily. Stay tuned. And we're back. All right. So, preview of this week's matchups. Oh, just a second. Hey, what's up?
So, are you at home?
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
So I sat down and did 20 minutes of the State of the Union. Then I just dropped Brody off and I got some dish soap at Walmart and I got back and
Why did you buy some, by the way?
well, because it was just right there.
You could have just brought me some that you have at your house.
Well, you need some. You need more than that, don't you?
I'm gonna need some when I need to wash the dishes again after tonight, but I don't need more. I don't need a whole bottle worth for tonight, but thank you.
Well, you're on the State of the Union right now, so.
Really?
I'm recording right now. Yep, I just picked up where I left off.
Shoot. What the fuck? You said you were done.
No, I didn't say I was done. I said I did 20 minutes. I said I did 20 minutes. That didn't mean I finished.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye. Yeah, there you go. Good old cameo out of Erica. She's not here, but she's here in spirit or over the phone. So anyway, recap. Obviously, it's a little bit darker. It's been about 30 minutes since I left. So game of the week here. It's interesting because honestly, there's dynamics in every game really at play other than one. Um, so it's interesting, but I think we'll go with that one. I think we'll go with this one. Yeah. So we'll start off with my matchup against Savoy. Projected to be very close, 128 to 125. Savoy's got a couple guys going on Thursday. Somebody going on Monday. I got a couple guys going Thursday. Nobody going on Monday. I kind of like having the Thursday, the Thanksgiving games. Having players in those games, it's fun. It makes Thanksgiving that much more exciting, especially for someone like myself who doesn't like food. But hey, if I lose this game, I'm definitely out of it. So I'm gonna have to go myself, and hopefully put up a good 170 or 180, make some people think. So anyway, be a microcosm of Savoy season. Then we got Kickers Lives Matter versus Hurricane season. Duncan's not really playing for anything. He is projected to lose 131 to 133. Obviously, a must win for Hawk and must win big for Hawk. Not necessarily point differential. I mean, Duncan could still have a good game, but Hawk's got to put up a big number here to be able to get in. So, or hope Blaine loses. So, got some decent matchups. If Evan Ingram comes back, like I guess he's projected to this week, that'll be big for him. Unfortunately for him, Hopkins is going to be locked up by Stephon Gilmore. So, jury's out on that. And Deshaun playing New England as well should be tough. But Dak against that good Buffalo secondary is interesting. I would probably roll out Kyler Murray against the Rams. But like I said, Duncan's not really playing for anything, so it doesn't matter. Win, lose, or draw. would like to see them be as competitive as possible and make it tough for Hawk to win. But this lineup right now, I don't really see as being an issue for Hawk to overcome. But I don't think that the high point total is there in those matchups. So I do think Hawk wins, doesn't put up enough points to make a difference. Then we got Dirty Birds and JD. Dirty Birds flying high. JD obviously in a must-win situation to even keep his hopes alive. I think JD comes out, puts up a good number this week, but just too much plunk. Juicy matchups all up and down the board outside of Lamar playing San Francisco. Should limit him a little bit. Probably have his worst game of the year, but great matchups everywhere else. So going to go with plunk there. Put up a decent total and damn it, have a shot at making that 2 seed. Then we got Chubb Unloaded versus Mellon's Understudy. Damn it to hell. That's weird. Nick doesn't have a flex in there currently. Not really sure who he'll trot out there. Don't think it matters. I don't think Nick wins a game. Like I said, the rest is a meaningful game the rest of the season. So I think Craig does win and puts to bed any worry of him potentially missing the playoffs. And then we got kind of a daily double here. We got a special. We got 2 game of the weeks. We've got a potential championship preview game, and we've got a potential horse ass bowl game. So we're gonna have 2 sponsors, double the power here. So let me figure out what the first one's gonna be. Probably shouldn't have finished all that. All right, I found one. It's not gonna be fun for me. And what about the other one? Let's go with this. Hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so we'll start off with our Crystal Hot Sauce. Louisiana's Pure Crystal Hot Sauce game of the week. That is a preview of, God damn it, I'm already coughing, of our championship game, potential championship game. That's Swamp Ass Donkeys versus Discount Double Check. That matchup is enough to get your butthole hot, not unlike some Louisiana's hot sauce. 0 calories, 0 fat, 0 carbs, 0 protein. Really the only nutritional value. It's got a little bit of sodium, not too bad. Very small list of ingredients, just aged red cayenne peppers, distilled vinegar, and salt. It says to shake well before using, so here we go. I probably should have some water, some more Gatorade, but I'm out. Our Crystal Hot Sauce game of the week, Swamp Ass Donkeys Discount Double Check. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. It smells terrible. I'm just going to cheat. Cheers. There it is. Oh! Oh! That'll clear you up there, bud. Oh, that shit's disgusting. All right. That's the Swamp Ass Donkeys and Discount Double Check. Bland is projected to win 145 to 134. Battle of the quarterback. You got Jameis Winston on the road in Jacksonville versus Russell Wilson at home on Monday night against the Vikings. I'm going to go with Russell and have a good bounce back game. Kind of put the Vikings in their place. I think they've been riding a little too high, a little bit better than what they actually are. So I'm going to have to give the edge to Russell on that one. Battle of the running backs. We got Zeke Elliott and Leonard Fournette versus Aaron Jones and Melvin Gordon. Don't love the matchups for really a couple of these guys. Fournette's going up against one of the top 3 rush defense in Tampa Bay. Aaron Jones should get back on track. Melvin should struggle at Denver. They have a solid run D as well. But Zeke also is going up against the inferior run defense. So, excuse me. Overall, I'm going to give the edge to Zeke, but I think it's Zeke and Blaine. But I think it's just a slight difference. I think that's almost a push. Battle of the wide receivers. We got Marvin Jones and Robert Woods, Michael Gallup versus Keenan Allen, Julian Edelman, and Odell. What's the guy's name? What is his name? Chris Harris. Should be shadowing Keenan, somewhat keep him in check. Pittsburgh's corners have been coming on of late. But I don't really love Blaine's receivers or his matchups, so I'm going to have to go with Rip to win that one. Only ever so slightly. Battle of the tight ends, not even close. We're going to go George Kittle over Darren Waller. And then battle of the flex, we got Mark Ingram at home against San Francisco versus Jamal Williams. I think I have to go with Jamal there as well. I think Mark Ingram's due for a letdown game. San Francisco's got a very good defense. So, ultimately, I think Rip finds a way to get it done, secures the 2 seed and the first round bye. Puts Blaine on a little bit thin ice. Puts him on a little bit thin ice. Now, like I said, as I laid it out earlier, I know what I said earlier, but now I'm saying something different. That would open the door for Hawk, myself, or JD to get in. So, ought to be a good game of the week. Rip, back-to-back game of the week, so better not disappoint 2 weeks in a row, buddy. All right, so that brings us to our horse ass, or our Jack Daniels Fire. So, well, the other one's spicy, heating things up, a good hot matchup. This one, you probably just want to drown your sorrows away if you're having to be in this matchup, if you're having to watch this matchup, care about this matchup. So what better way to do that than with some Jack Fire original recipe, finely crafted cinnamon liqueur, blended with Jack Daniels Tennessee whiskey, 70 proof. It is caramel colored. No nutritional facts whatsoever other than the ABV. But yeah, what better way to get the party started than with some Jack Daniels Fire. It's a good way to start the evening, continue the evening, finish the evening, whatever you want to do. Jack Fire can certainly do it for you. So Fat Bastards, Cataclysmic Catches, the Jack Fire horse ass game of the week. Salute. Woo! Whew. Been a while. Been a while since I had some of that. Ooh, I don't like it cold. Just kidding. It does hit a little bit different cold. Anyway, these teams, this matchup, who cares? Why am I even talking about it? But maybe there's a chance one of these teams doesn't win horse ass. Maybe it's Savoy. Maybe it's JD. Maybe it's me. I don't know. But I'd be very surprised if it was anyone other than these two. Wilson is projected to win 112 to 103. Battle of the quarterback. We got Matt Ryan versus Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers playing the Giants. I think they win going away. Rodgers has a good game. We'll go with the edge there for Rodgers. Battle of the running backs. We got Jay Will and Latavius Murray versus Adrian Peterson, Chris Carson. Don't like any of these, so I'll just go with the better back. That's Chris Carson. Battle of the wide receivers. We got Taylor Gabriel, Cole Beasley, Cooper Kupp versus Kenny Golladay, Jamison Crowder, and Devontae Adams. Got to go with Wilson in that one as well. Battle of the tight ends. We got Ryan Griffin, Dallas Goedert, push. Who knows? And then the battle of the flex. We got Fitz versus Barber. So I think Fitz might have Ramsey on him. I think Fitz plays outside now because of Kirk. Push again. I don't know. Both. I mean, these teams just suck, guys. Wilson's gonna win. He is slightly better than Ford, but gosh, it's not by much. So anyway, that's all I got this week, fellas. Obviously, holidays coming up. Everyone who's traveling, be safe. Travel safe. Good luck this week, and whoop pig. Happy Thanksgiving. Whoop pig.